All right, we are here at South by Southwest. This is Derek with 100 Interviews. We're here with Tamar Weinberg with Mashables. How you doing?
Hey, I'm all right. How's it going?
It's going good. How's your South by been going so far?
It's great. I love this place. It's just, it's a geek convention and everybody in the world is here. So,
So you're considering yourself a geek?
yeah,
Okay,
always have been,
that's great. So I heard you have a new book coming out.
Yeah, so the book is titled The New Community Rules, Marketing on the Social Web. It's almost definite, kind of tentative on the title, and it's about how mostly, it's really for everybody. But I guess the primary audience would probably be the small business owner and how they leverage social media and the existing channels instead of having to focus on building a brand new site. So, I cover Facebook and LinkedIn. I cover, social news and social bookmarking. So take the Deliciouses of the world and the StumbleUpons and the wikis. So, I mean, it's actually been a very interesting ride, but I think it's going to be a great tool.
How long's the project been going on?
How long has the project been going on?
Yeah, how long have you been doing the research? And
I've been living in the research for the last, I don't know, Facebook. I've been on Facebook for 5 years, much prior to a lot of the other individuals. I've been on Twitter since 2006. Not many people can say that.
no, there's not a lot that can.
Yeah. So I kind of come across it as somebody who's sort of the end user, who has the tried and true methods, I guess, to put it that way.
Because you've seen things fail and you've seen things succeed. So
Yeah, you're really seeing the mistakes that people have made and the things that people have been doing that have been really successful. So it sort of kind of combines all of that and shows you exactly the right things or the recommended steps on how to proceed. So it's good. It's pretty cool.
that's awesome. When's this book going to be released?
They are speculating May. I assume the middle of May. And you can already pre-order it now, though.
On Amazon?
Amazon, O'Reilly. O'Reilly's the publisher.
Oh wow,
So, yeah, it's available.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So the whole idea about the 100 interviews is we really wanted to talk to more of the mover and shakers, and I know that's kind of a cliche, but people that are really kind of more well known within the social media arenas of how they're using social media in their everyday lives. How are you connecting with your friends, your family, and how do you leverage it, maybe for your book project? How are you getting the word out about that using the tools that you're talking about?
Well, there's so much. There's like different hierarchy. You have people who are really involved in Facebook and live on Facebook. I have cousins who upload 15 videos a day to Facebook, and then I have people who aren't really are starting to discover like Skype. My grandfather, for example, invited me to Skype. I'm like, well, I don't really use it because I don't really have a headset. I don't have a video. These things. I'm not against Skype because I've had it all. I just I reformatted and never reinstalled it again. But it is social in itself. It's old technology, but it is pretty social. And my parents I've been trying to convince to join Facebook because I think it's a great opportunity for them to connect with old people, but also to old people. Old friends rather. They're looking for the
We'll call them
geriatric
old people.
community, the geriatric community of Facebook. They're great opportunities for a lot of people, and a lot of the average individual. South by Southwest, everybody here has a Twitter account, but the average individual doesn't necessarily use these tools on a regular basis. My parents, they're using AOL, they're using IM, but they're not using social networks as religiously as the rest of the world. So
Don't you kind of cringe when you get an AOL account that comes across your email?
my parents still use them.
So you see it on a
working
regular
on my
basis.
mother. I'm pretty blunt in how I approach her, and I've said stop using your AOL account because in order to visit any website she has to go through AOL, the application, the physical application, and she says, well, things don't necessarily work. I sent her a link to my Amazon story, and my mother said she couldn't get it, and I said, well, why not? She's like, well, the AOL wouldn't let me. That's exactly.
They're
Stop it.
blocking
Use
me.
Gmail. She has DSL at home. She doesn't need to go through the application, but she is.
Because she's
So
used
yeah,
to it.
she might. So you do have people like that, and you really have to introduce them to the pros and the cons, especially because she's a real estate agent, and in her business there's potential to leverage these things for your business gain. And a lot of people are not touching upon that or understand that, and hopefully this book will touch upon that. But in communication, I mean, for the most part, when you're talking about people who haven't really delved into the social networks, you still have IM, and that's starting to get social. And I do think, I know you're going to ask me this a little later, but I do think that people are starting to understand that, for example, People Magazine last week, People Magazine, not even last week, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, they started talking about Twitter and how celebrities are using it. So my mom reads Twitter, my mom reads People, so hopefully she'll be on Twitter soon.
Right.
But she's not going to be on Facebook yet because she's just not, she's not she hasn't been sold on the idea.
Yeah, are we getting kind of just fluttered with all of this Twitter talk? Because, I mean, Comedy Central was talking about it the other day, and just, all these guys on CNN and, Fox News and all these guys, they think it's the great new thing, so they keep breaking to go to their Twitter feed to take a question.
I'm gonna answer my Twitter messages right now. So, that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
And on my trio.
But is it bringing true value to the discussion, because you are really getting questions that people are asking kind of from the streets, or is it just a ploy to try to boost ratings because they're the next cool thing?
I think they've been the next cool thing for me since 2007.
Right.
So I'm already on to the next new thing.
Right.
I mean,
Foursquare.
Yeah, seriously. But I think because they're realizing that celebrities are adopting it, and they I guess they're acknowledging that and possibly trying to show that they're a little bit more hip on the technology aspect.
But does it turn geeks off that mainstream media is?
No, I think that it actually makes these geeks do have infatuations with celebrities. For example, I hear, and I shouldn't be saying this now. Well, actually, because you're going to put this on, you're putting it online now.
It's later.
Okay, good. Well, Kiefer Sutherland, I hear, is going to be here.
Woo!
And I love 24. 24 rocks. Anyway, so it's the fact that a geek like me wants to run after Kiefer Sutherland at South by Southwest is indicative enough that these geeks are loving the fact that celebrities are now coming to where the geeks kind of evangelize the product.
Okay, we'll go in on that because that's kind of an interesting. I'll ask you three people. Are you following Jimmy Fallon?
I don't follow many people who don't follow me back.
Okay.
I'm one of those people who I wanna receive DMs from these individuals, and if I can't have an ongoing conversation with them, I won't follow them. And he's not following me, sadly.
Okay.
Pete Yorn did, but he unfollowed me, probably because I didn't follow him back.
Oh. And not the Real Shaq either?
Yeah. It's too bad.
You gotta love the Real Shaq. He's got some great tweets that go out though.
The thing about Twitter right now, and the fact that so many people, it's getting widespread adoption, is the fact that it's getting noisier, and that can it has pros and cons. I mean, obviously it's a louder. You're in a small room and you can hear a lot of people talk. But if you're in a large room and you have even more people talking, it's harder to really find the quality in that quantity.
That's good.
So,
well, we wish you nothing but success on your book.
Thank you.
And thank you for taking some time out here at South by. This is Derek with 100 Interviews, and we're out.